Shed right there. That is where our suspects are. This is close to live. We're about 10-15 minutes behind. So we're close to live. Holiday, welcome in. We'll run back. Not much of a chase here.
During the chase was on their way, and because the shed didn't.
We've now got a standoff.
Weapons in there.
I'm not high enough for this shit.
Completely surrounded. That should be the sense that they get to come out with their hands up and surrender. But
I'm pretty sure this is going to be over. Tadpole, good evening. Where is my marijuana? I'm trying to remember what they told me this was. I don't think they wrote it on my bag. It was like, I didn't go to the really nice weed store. I had to go to the little ghetto one that's closer because I walked. We're just behind live. You've got to wonder where the blue paint came from. Arafat, then we might miss something, goddammit. Why do you keep telling me to go live? I've got things covered. I comment. Because what, you've had it legal a year? It's coming up. I do this so often now, I should just have just the opening without the countdown, shouldn't I?
This is the Troll Patrol, live with Justin Freakin.
Welcome to the Troll Patrol, live. It's a freaking Wednesday. It's a Wednesday. Good evening. News be doing all kinds of stupid shit. Of course, we're still going to be talking about the Signal chat. That's the topic of conversation. I've got a lot of clips to play for you. Tulsi Gabbard, Kash Patel, Ratcliffe, all back in front of the Senate today being grilled. The Atlantic actually did it. They released all the Signal chat. Was Hexeth drinking? We're going to talk about the special election in Pennsylvania where Democrats trounced a Republican in a hardcore... I mean, I shouldn't say trounced. Won by like half a percentage point in a hardcore Republican district. Trounced isn't the right word for that. Apparently, Trump's indecision on tariffs really affecting the stock market. Fox has an amazing national security advisor. She is one of the best in the business. Fox isn't putting her on air right now. I wonder why that is. Meanwhile, Jim Jordan was grilling the CEO of NPR over bias. We have video of a Tufts University student being detained, a community walking out in support of a researcher who was detained in Washington. We're going to talk about the legal challenges to Trump's latest EO about elections. Residents of Kursk think they're on the brink of more war, even as the U.S. says Ukraine and Russia have reached a deal. New information about our good buddy Luigi, friend of the show Luigi. Remember that guy? He used to be Trump's spiritual advisor. Got arrested for being a pedophile. He was booked into jail, released minutes later. In one of the craziest headlines I've ever read, Atlanta bagpiper killed in scuba diving accident. Son who vanished 4 years ago found dead. A video of a violent arrest in Washington that has sparked an investigation. Body camera footage has been released in a fatal shooting in Alabama from a couple of years back. A dad left his wife and child behind after crashing into a ditch at over 100 miles per hour. An American couple has been put in a Mexican prison for some kind of timeshare bullshit. A family was able to save their dog from a tornado. An OnlyFans model has been accused of groping wrestlers, and I shouldn't have to tell you this. Don't have sex with a chihuahua. All that and a lot freaking more tonight on the Troll Patrol Live. Good evening. Welcome in. Clinically. Ducky. Other E's. Quesadilla E. Shelly. Winnie. Holiday. Good evening. Welcome in. I don't have a meme. I don't have one ready because I saw a police chase. I was like, oh shit. We gotta go live. Oh, luckily I have one saved. This one's perfect. Perfect. National Security Group Chat. Mike Waltz pulls up with a Trojan horse. That Trojan horse is Jeffrey Goldberg. Inside of that Trojan horse is Jeffrey Goldberg. That's what I'm saying, Clint. How did she have sex with a chihuahua? Like, usually when you have bestiality stories, it's a big dog. How did the chihuahua even, like, get up there? We'll find out, I guess. Jesus fucking Christ. I might have to clean out the bong. I need a bong for this. Oh my God. I mean, I'm bringing you the most absurd news, politics, and current events. It's kind of my thing. I do know that I leave off stories that are involving animals most of the time. I spare you guys horrific stories about animals, I assure you. I can't watch them myself. Like, there was one, there was video from a security cam of a dude beating the fuck out of a dog. I couldn't do it. There's no way. Yeah, humans are weird. I can watch all this death and destruction to other humans, but I can't handle it with puppies. You see animals on this show, it's hopefully in a heartwarming context. Of course, this is the big story on everybody's mind tonight. Got a lot of facets to cover. It's taking some interesting twists yet again. We're going to start off tonight talking about the stock market. God damn it. Fucking fuck. Stock market apparently closing down amid Trump's tariff threats. I don't even know where we stand. He keeps changing his mind whether he's going to tariff people or not.
We are watching Wall Street as investors brace for Trump's looming tariffs on auto imports. The president is expected to unveil the new duties today. By today's closing bell, the Dow dropped more than 100 points. General Motors and Stellantis each fell more than 3%. Let's take a look at our interactive stock market heat map, brought to you by FinViz here, showing...
I'm going to say, just judging by the tips I get as a streamer, I think the Biden economy was better. And I know we're still just a little ways into the Trump administration. But I'm seeming like, as a streamer, the money that people are just like, hey, the stock market's up, I'm going to give Justin a tip. That happened a lot more under Biden.
The top 500 stocks in real time. The red indicates the stock is down, green means it's up, and the size of the box represents market cap. And it looks like a down day for Wall Street today. CS News senior business and tech correspondent Jolene Kent joins us now. Jolene, good to see you on the stream. I really appreciate your time here today. With the constant changes in trade policy, it's easy to get lost. So can you help us all just get out of...
TJ Dub, I'm packing a bong if you want to smoke with me. Get your accoutrements ready.
How would they affect us here in the United States?
Mugo, it's so nice to meet you, first of all. And looking at the tariff announcement we expect from the White House later today, there's a lot that remains to be answered in terms of specifics. But what we do know...
Casey, welcome in.
A lot of those stocks were down today, including Tesla and General Motors. The idea from the president here is that there would be more tariffs levied on imported cars to the United States. But what you need to know is that nearly half of all vehicles...
Oh, I was smoking gunk out of my bong last night, so I've really got to clean this bowl. It's a mess.
What do here, it was actually the goal is for the White House to increase production of vehicles here in the United States, but because costs would go up, it's unlikely that that would actually happen. It would end up resulting in companies, car makers, passing on those higher costs to the customer in the sticker price that you see at the dealership. While President Trump says he wants to increase the number of jobs in manufacturing, look, that takes time, right? 18 to 24 months for new jobs to materialize in plants and production facilities and on down the line. So you could see increased prices for cars, and then also...
Okay, but here's the thing. Are they going to want to take a chance on moving production to the United States when it looks like the market for cars is soft? That's the problem with the idea here.
So a sort of after effect of that would be an increased demand for used cars. And you'll remember from the pandemic, when demand for used cars goes up, it also means the prices go up. And so President Trump has called April 2nd
anonymously
next week Liberation Day when it comes to the economy and levying
Cicero
on trading partners. But, you know, the impact on the American worker, Mugo, could be really big here. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, 1 million people work in auto manufacturing in the U.S., 2 million work at car dealerships. We expect to see a big impact if these tariffs indeed go through.
There's so many tariffs at this point, Jolene, I don't even know which is which. So thank you for joining us today and just helping us break it all down. Appreciate your time.
Here for you.
I guess when people are talking about the stock market being, you know, the feelings of rich people and all that, it's kind of like when the GameStop traders, they thought they had got one over on the rest of Wall Street. They thought the little guy was going to be able to take over the day trading, and the 85% of the people that own stocks just shut that trading down. Boom. The little guys thought they found a loophole, but in reality, nope, they didn't. That app wasn't meant for you to be able to take advantage of rich people. That app was for rich people to take advantage of you. We're talking about the Robin Hood, right? Because what that was, the way it was explained to me, because I don't know shit about finance. I don't think anybody does. I think anybody that's telling you they know about finance is just making it up. Everybody's just blowing shit out their ass, right? Fucking numbers are made up. Nothing matters. I cussed, didn't I?
You take your 33 and a third chance minus my 25% chance, and you got an 8 and a third chance of winning.
But that Robin Hood app and like there was like a couple of different apps like that. They were meant to give the big dogs an idea of what you were trading. Like you were trading slower, like a half second or a half millisecond, whatever the fuck it was. God damn it. Slower than the actual Wall Street traders. So the app was giving them the data to be able to manipulate you in the market. Casey, can you explain what the obsession with right-wingers is of BlackRock? Like, not a single leftist supports BlackRock. BlackRock only exists because of policies right-wingers advocate for. They seem to be like a fun target for idiot right-wingers to bring up because it had some sort of DEI initiative or something. It had a environmental governance board or whatever. Yeah, brother, that's capitalism. Every night we're on here talking about how the system should change and companies like BlackRock shouldn't exist. But like, why is that the company you bring up? Why are there not other companies? Why are there not other capitalist entities? I feel like you've been programmed, my friend. It's just an example, but it's the one the right-wingers bring up all the time. They're constantly attacking BlackRock. Have you been programmed? Ponder Monkey, welcome in. We go to Pennsylvania, where Democrats maintain control of the Pennsylvania State House in a special election. They also won a special election for a state Senate seat. Princess Kimberly, good evening.
Pennsylvania State Senate special election remains too close to call, but at the moment it's looking like the Democrats could well flip this seat. Democrat James Malone is leading Republican.
Oh, I thought it had already been called.
In the Lancaster County District. The difference is less than 500 votes, but Parsons already posted on social media, quote, "It appears we've come up short." A win for Malone would be a major upset in the heavily GOP district and be read by some as a sign of concern for Republicans in general. In terms of power in Harrisburg, though, Republicans would still hold a 4-seat majority in the state Senate. And Democrats will keep control of the Pennsylvania House of Representatives. Democrat Dan Gogenauer won a special election in western Pennsylvania yesterday. The chamber had been tied at 101 to 101 after Democratic lawmaker Matt Gurgley from Allegheny County died back in January. Speaker Joanna McClinton of Philadelphia will remain as the chamber's presiding officer.
What kind of name is Gurgley? This win, AOC was out touting it as the comeback of Democrats. It apparently does have some in MAGA world worried. We have this MAGA influencer or activist who went on Fox News last night with Ducey. He's got some pretty... Hey, wait a minute. Didn't I debate this guy?
In New Jersey, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to the farmers markets and veteran of foreign wars halls, and you'll see us at the beach and courting the trucker vote. I want New Jersey folks to know that if every single Trump voter that came out in 2024, if you commit to voting on Tuesday, November 4th, 2025, you have the power to flip that New Jersey governorship from blue to red.
I just think that...
Okay, so that was him talking about the New Jersey race, but he also had thoughts on... okay. This was him on Twitter or something. I asked for help in Pennsylvania and no one helped us. 482 votes. Damn, Musk, a mega donor who spent more than $290 million supporting Trump and his Republican allies during the 2024 election cycle, said in the thread after midnight on Wednesday in late August, Musk made a $1 million donation to a Pressler PAC. Pressler issued a blunt response punctuated by a full stop yes. An hour earlier, Pressler replied to one of his ex-posts, which Musk had previously commented on last week, asking to speak with the tech billionaire. Dear Elon, we ended up losing this seat by 482 votes. I tried to warn people, let's have a discussion. We don't have a lot of help. So begging for Elon to throw his fucking money. God damn it. Musk has yet to respond to Pressler's second message. Earlier on Tuesday, Pressler tweeted that an Illinois-based Democrat PAC poured $100,000 into Malone's campaign. Republicans, where are you? Oh wow, $100,000. Oh, I thought you were saying hi to M Lord. I was looking up. I was like, I didn't see M Lord come in. Maybe I'm too high. No, I'm not high enough. All right, let's get to the story everyone's talking about. This is the juicy one. Hold on. I've got a couple of stories to preface the big story of the day before we get started. So this one coming out just in the last couple of hours should come as a shock to no one. Apparently, Daily Mail does not like my ad blocker. I thought it worked on Daily Mail. We'll have to switch browsers. This should come as a surprise to no one. Top Trump officials have private data and passwords leaked in stunning security breach following more planned debacle. Just in the last couple of hours, the Trump officials already embroiled in Signal war plan debacles have now had their private data and passwords leaked. National Security Advisor Mike Waltz, Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard, and Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth's private phone numbers, email addresses, and even some of their passwords were readily available online, according to the publication Der Spiegel. The publication said most of the numbers and email addresses were still in use and actively sending and receiving as recently as a few days ago. A WhatsApp account linked to the phone number for Hegseth still had his shirtless profile picture alongside his two children readily available, but the service had been newly deleted. The leak comes as the trio, particularly Hegseth and Waltz, face intense scrutiny for accidentally adding a journalist to a Signal chat in which they were discussing sensitive plans to attack Houthi targets in Yemen. Energy Flow, Avalon. Now, I don't know if this next story has anything to do with the other story about the leak of information. But 4 U.S. soldiers went missing during a tactical training in Lithuania, not far from its border with Belarus. This is according to the Pentagon. The soldiers were in a training area near the town of Pabradė, which is about 30 miles south of the capital, Vilnius, about 6 miles from Lithuania's border with Belarus. The missing Americans were riding in their M88 recovery vehicle, which was discovered submerged in a body of water in a training area. The Army had been training with Lithuanian armed forces and law enforcement. A search and recovery effort is underway for the soldiers, who are all from the 1st Brigade, 3rd Infantry Division. Now, shit like that could have just been like if it was submerged in a fucking body of water, as they said. So, like, it went into a creek or a culvert or some shit. It was probably just an accident. This has nothing to do with the leak of information. I'm just being dramatic. I'm just doing it for dramatic effect. Speaking of dramatic effect, I didn't expect to wake up this morning and find that the Atlantic absolutely put their money where their mouth is. They released the rest of the signal messages. Good on them.
President Trump is circling the wagons around his national security team as Democrats call for resignation.
The fallout from the use of a text messaging app to discuss attacks on Yemen continues today on Capitol Hill. Douglas Ader joining us live from Washington with the latest on this controversy. Doug, good morning.
Good morning. And the National Security Advisor, Brooke Bob, has taken responsibility for having put together this big text group, or actually relatively small text group, I guess, that was discussing this attack on Yemen. At this point,
I don't know. Seems like a pretty big group for that kind of information.
It does not look like any heads are going to roll.
Of course not.
Over the use of the text messaging app Signal has followed the Secretary of Defense all the way to Hawaii.
Nobody's texting more plans.
Kazu, you're up.
I know exactly what I'm doing, exactly what we're directing.
But National Security Advisor Michael Waltz, who assembled the text group in the first place, struggled to explain how the editor of The Atlantic, Jeffrey Goldberg, was added as a participant.
You got somebody else's number on someone else's contact, so of course I didn't see this loser in the group.
Did you participate in the group chat with Secretary of Defense and other Trump senior officials discussing the Yemen war plans?
Senator, I don't want to get in.
I love that their line of attack, their response to this has been to attack Goldberg, this loser. Like it was his fault he was on the Signal chat. But am I wrong on this? Is he saying that he had somebody else's contact and put Goldberg's number under that contact? And this is why you don't share this information on a fucking unsecure device. God damn it.
The text messaging app Signal has followed the Secretary of Defense all the way to Hawaii.
Nobody's texting.
He looks cool. I gotta give him that. Like, that's a cool looking dude. I feel like I'd hang out with him. I'd play poker with him. Smoke some cigars. He's a cool looking dude. He shouldn't be running the Department of Defense.
Has followed the Secretary of Defense all the way to Hawaii.
Flash is like, no.
More plans.
Kazu, you're up.
I know exactly what I'm doing, exactly what we're directing.
But National Security Advisor Michael Waltz, who assembled the text group in the first place, struggled to explain how the editor,
you're probably right about that, Flash,
Jeffrey Goldberg, was added as a participant.
You got somebody else's number on someone else's contact, so of course I didn't see this loser in the group.
Did you participate in the group chat with Secretary of Defense and other Trump senior officials discussing the Yemen war plans?
Senator, I don't want to get into the specifics.
Ma'am, were you on? You're not going to be willing to address it?
At a Senate Intelligence Committee hearing yesterday, Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard,
we got fiery again today. Wait for clips.
Saying the chat did not include classified information. But a number of Democrats have suggested resignations are in order.
If I had done this as a junior officer, I would have absolutely marched myself into my colonel's office and resigned on the spot.
President Trump, though,
you wouldn't have had to. They would have had you in the brig.
And he is not looking for resignations, saying his national security advisor shouldn't apologize.
No, I don't think he should apologize. I think he's doing his best.
Okay, now we saw that pretty explosive Senate committee hearing yesterday on involving U.S. intelligence officials. We're going to see a House hearing on this today in a couple of hours, and it is likely to get very heated. Brooke and Bob.
It did. Brooke and Bob. Let's start with. Apparently, this is fun. I haven't watched it yet. I've been waiting on you guys. I'm not a pre-watch Andy. This is Senator Loomis from Wyoming, and I think she's getting the news of the Atlantic releasing the rest of them in real time.
Yeah, would you like to see it? Yeah. There you go. Did Pete Hegseth know there was a reporter on the call?
It's not
No.
clear, but this is still in an unclassified app.
Yes, this is Senator Loomis from Wyoming. She's a Republican. Fuck, shit, I got cussed again. I don't remember her first name. Senator Cynthia Loomis from Wyoming.
Did Pete Hegseth know that there was a reporter on the call?
Look, she's laughing. It's absurd.
I think that's less the issue and more the issue that's happening in an unclassified setting.
No, that's not the bigger issue. The bigger issue is, did Pete Hegseth know there was a reporter on the call? That's the issue. He did not. He thought he was speaking to his fellow cabinet members. He should not resign.
But is the national security involved then here?
No, have you?
Yeah, would you like to see it?
Wow, he should not resign. Are you kidding me? The White House digging in. This was Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt earlier today. This is their first big scandal. They were blindsided by this one.
But the mainstream media continues to be focused on a sensationalized...
They were so cocky. They were truly feeling themselves. They thought everything was going their way, and the mood is just completely shifted. But I think the Democrats' response has been wholly inadequate. The fact that they are not calling on Trump to be impeached, on all of these cabinet positions to resign, is insane. They should be going they should be calling for jail time.
Story from the failing Atlantic magazine that is falling apart by the hour. Here are the facts. The National Security Advisor has taken responsibility for this matter, and the National Security Council immediately said, alongside the White House counsel's office, that they are looking into how a reporter's number was inadvertently added to this messaging thread. We have said all along that no classified material was sent on this messaging thread. There were no locations, no sources, or methods revealed, and there were certainly no war plans discussed. The Atlantic has even admitted this themselves. Their release of these internal messages validates the truth, which we have been saying all along. If this story proves anything, it proves that...
Validates the truth. I mean, yes, it does. It validates the truth that all the officials lied.
Democrats and their propagandists in the mainstream media know how to fabricate, orchestrate, and disseminate a misinformation campaign quite well. And there's arguably no one in the media who loves manufacturing and pushing hoaxes more than Jeffrey Goldberg.
Wow. And I think it was Ryan. No, it was Mehdi Hassan. I don't remember. It was on one of the Zateo podcasts. It was the one with Francesca. And Mehdi was like, Goldberg hasn't been wrong about anything. All of his reports, they may call it fake news, but they've all been verified by other sources. Like one of them was apparently Goldberg was the source of what, Chumps and Losers? Is that what he said? Something in Losers. And like that's been verified by General Kelly. Like it just goes down the list.
Don Bacon weighed in on the Signal chat breach, saying the White House is, quote, in denial that this was not classified or sensitive data.
Suckers and losers.
Own up to it and preserve credibility.
This is Rubio.
Also, here in Jamaica, there are USAID employees at our embassy, like so many others around the world, on administrative leave, not carrying out the work of the American people. Do you worry that the Doge effort won't ultimately end up benefiting U.S. taxpayers? And Prime Minister, violence and instability remains in Haiti. What would you like to see from the United States in terms of being a productive force? And a State Department envoy yesterday called the presence of Cuban doctors in Jamaica and elsewhere human trafficking. Do you agree with that? Thank you.
Let me take the first. I've already addressed the aid one, but let me address it again. This is not about getting rid of aid. This is about restructuring how we're going to do aid. And when you restructure, there's some disruption, but it has to happen. By the way, this is not an idea. This is an idea Condoleezza Rice wanted. This is an idea multiple secretaries of state throughout time have tried
That's not saying anything. Who, like Condoleezza Rice?
to achieve. And we intend to achieve it because we think it makes all the sense in the world.
Blast from the past, though.
Recognize that there's disruption involved.
Like, I miss Condi now.
Change. But it's necessary because our foreign policy and our foreign aid have to be aligned. Foreign aid is an instrument of foreign policy. Okay? It is not a global charity. Jamaica's not asking for charity. They're asking for development assistance so they can become stronger at their security needs and other things of this nature. That's what they're asking for. They're not asking for a handout. They're asking for a hand up, help to build their capabilities so that they become a self-reliant partner and, frankly, could end up and already are helping other countries. Jamaica now is contributing to the effort in Haiti as an example. So these are the kinds of things we want to see in our foreign aid. So look, our goal was not to disrupt anyone's life. Our goal was to restructure the way we deliver foreign aid so that it is aligned with our foreign policy and with what we're trying to carry out at our respective missions around the world. On the first question, let me just say on the signal thing. This thing was set up for purposes of coordinating how everyone was going to call, when these things happen.
That's illegal.
I need to call foreign ministers, especially of our close allies. We need to notify members of Congress. Other members of the team have different people they need to notify as well. And that was the purpose of why it was set up.
Illegal.
Obviously, someone made a mistake. Someone made a big mistake and added a journalist.
Which is why it's illegal.
Against journalists, but you ain't supposed to be on that.
It's illegal to do that so that you don't make that mistake. That's,
thing. So they got on there and this happened. I've been, so I can speak to myself or my presence on it. I think my role on it was just speaking for my role. I contributed to it twice. I identified my point of contact, which is my chief of staff. And then later on, I think 3 hours after the White House's official announcements had been made, I congratulated the members of the team. I've been assured by the Pentagon and everyone involved that none of the information that was on there, though not intended to be divulged, obviously that was a mistake and that shouldn't have happened and the White House is looking at it, but that none of the information on there at any point threatened the operation or the lives of our servicemen.
Well, that's a lie.
It's a very successful operation and it's an ongoing operation. But that was the intent behind it, and again, I think the Pentagon's made it clear that nothing on there would have endangered the lives or the mission, and the mission's been very successful.
Oh, hold on.
Well, the Pentagon says it was not.
The question was, is it classified?
Well, the Pentagon says it was not, and not only did it say it was not, they make very clear that it didn't put in danger anyone's life or the mission. There was no intelligence information. And understand, when this story first broke, they were sort of alluding to were there war maps, or there was no war plans on there. This was a sort of description of what we could inform our counterparts around the world when the time came to do so. Again, look, I think the White House is looking at this entire thing. How did that journalist get on there? Why was this the appropriate? And I think there'll be reforms and changes made, so this was not going to happen again. It can't. But I wanted everybody to understand why this thing was even set up in the first place, and also understand very clearly the mission was successful, and at no point was it endangered. And that's coming from the highest-ranking officials at the agency that was in charge of the actual operation, which is the Pentagon.
Fired is too weak of a word. What they are doing is blatantly illegal. I had a clip of Hexeth talking, but we already covered him. Orb, welcome in, my friend. DJ Dub, thank you for throwing out the gift sub. Let's get to the... Damn! Thank you, DJ Dub. Was that for me getting through a 10-minute mark? I'm at 50% of my sub goal, which apparently is 169. Torchy! I don't pay attention to any of that stuff. DJ Dub, thank you so much. Throwing out some subs to the regulars. Appreciate it. Let's light one up for DJ Dub. And Torchy being here. Torchy, you ready to smoke? Hell yeah, DJ Dub. By the way, I found out why I can't be on TikTok now. We tried to put the show over on TikTok. Your live Argue With Me About Politics Now streamed on 3/23/2025 has been discontinued because of a violation: alcohol, tobacco, and drugs. I don't think I was doing any of the three. Thank you very. I was not drinking, I was not smoking, and I was not doing drugs. I want to be everywhere, Orb. We currently are on YouTube, Twitch, Kick, Rumble, Odyssey, DLive, BitChute. If I wasn't banned on Facebook, we'd be on fucking Facebook. If I didn't have to pay for it, we'd be on Twitter. Well, now I've got like my live privileges have been revoked. Man, that's the most viewers I've ever had though, Orb. One night we were watching the cops beat the fuck out of somebody. I mean, I can't believe I wasn't taken down for violence on Twitch. Looking back on it, because what I got taken down for violence later on. I'm amazed that the night that we watched 2 hours of the cops just beat the fuck out of him. I mean, absolutely beat the ever-loving shit out of him. Like, he died a couple of days later in the hospital from having the absolute shit beat out of him. And we watched like 2 hours of that, and we had thousands of people on Facebook watching. It was wild. T-Minus, did I tell you good evening? Welcome in, my friend. Did I miss anybody? If I didn't give you a personal welcome in, my apologies. Princess Kimberly, good evening. Ponder Monkey, I don't know if I like saying Ponder Monkey, and I don't know if I've said it tonight. Good evening, Ponder Monkey. Julie, thank you for throwing out the gift sub. You guys are awesome. Fucking DJ Dub tried to one up. God, I love you guys so much. We are on 88. That's unsettling. All right, we are going to go to... Oh, we need to smoke more weed. Okay, we can do that. Where is my weed? While I'm packing a new bong, we're going to go over to Adam Schiff in a Senate Judiciary hearing. DJ Dub! Damn, I thought the stock market did bad today. Let's go over here. Adam Schiff in the Senate Judiciary Committee. Grilling the Trump nominee for Assistant Attorney General.
You served during the first administration as a NSC legal advisor. In that capacity, you must have participated in hundreds of principal meetings organized by the National Security Advisor. Did you conduct any of those meetings by text chat that involved military strike plans?
No, I don't believe so.
So the entire first 4 years of the Trump administration, you never had a text chat conversation about
I am really getting sick of this. I did not call my ISP today. I've been having this issue, and I think I've narrowed it down that I need to call my ISP and have them replace my equipment. I think that's what it is, because my PlayStation's doing it too. I didn't call tech support. I need to. Yes, DJ Dub. I was busy today. I walked across town to buy weed and then came back and took a nap. I think that's the issue. I don't think it's my computer. Yeah, I had a client that wanted to... I have a client that likes to do shit for herself, and I made a whole... I made an awesome video, but I fucking forgot, and I used like a pirated plugin to do something, and so like one of the main things I did to the video wasn't there, and she's like, I can't use this, oh my god. And she also did she had put this question mark on the third line. I'm like, I absolutely hate that question mark on the third line, but clearly you did it for a reason, so I'm not gonna change it. But I did make it like there was like a ding in the music, so I made the question mark appear at the ding, and apparently she hated that. So it's just been going. I'm like, it's two lines of text and a question mark on the third line. I'm like, that looks stupid. But if I make it appear on the ding, like, I like that. That's cool. And she hated that. I'm serious. I watched it do that ding like multiple times. I liked it so much. Hold on, I gotta show you what I'm talking about. Oh, I think I can get it to a place where like it wouldn't give away the client or anything. Yeah. Watch this. See. It appears on the... She hated that. I watched it like 20 times last night. Like, that's so cool. I like how it appears on the ding. It appears on the ding. Oh. I'm sorry. Ding. Wait. Oh. I'm still packing a bowl of Sky Comet. I'm amused by the ding. I really liked it. I thought so, Ducky. It was the only way I could deal with that question mark. Because it didn't make sense to me. Hated it. Okay. Back to the news. I'll smoke some pot. We'll watch Adam Schiff here.
Military targets, the time of the attack, the location of the target.
I do, Lenny.
Ordnance being used.
Sure, you'd want to know whether the device is up to a certain level so that it could. I mean, you might make one that...
Okay, we're talking about a commercial app like Signal. Would it ever be appropriate to discuss imminent plans to strike military targets on a commercial app?
I still think it's very difficult to answer that question in the abstract. I mean, I can think of circumstances in which you could, sure.
Oh, well, give us a circumstance in which you can talk about an imminent military attack unknown to the public where it would be appropriate to do so on a commercial app?
Okay, something absolutely urgent.
This fucking guy.
Go right now, and your normal communication systems don't work. I mean, there's an example where you may have to do something like that.
And where you have access to classified facilities, it would be completely inappropriate, wouldn't it?
I still need to know more.
Really? Wow. And you want to lead the National Security Department at the DOJ, and you would need to know.
Which one you call a moron, Orb?
The NSD, and I think I'm exceptionally qualified to do so.
And do you fail to believe the NSA and the DOD when they say that the use of commercial apps like Signal is a security threat and inappropriate for confidential or sensitive data?
I haven't heard what either of those entities has said.
Great answer.
So you don't have any idea what the view of the intelligence community is about the use of commercial apps to conduct government business involving classified or sensitive national security information? You have no idea what the position is?
No, I'm sure the position is that in general that should never happen.
Okay, so what happened in this Signal chat should never have happened. Do you agree with that?
No, as I said before, I would need to know more.
Have you read the Signal chat?
I have not yet.
Yeah, you have not read it.
Buller alert, this guy is like 28. That's what hate does to you.
And as I said before,
he's fresh out of law school.
Have you read the Signal chat?
I have not yet.
Yeah, you have not read it. Are you?
I made that up.
To be willfully blind to what just happened?
To be factual on this show.
No, I was trying to prepare for this hearing, among other things.
Oh, and you didn't anticipate you'd be asked about this? Or is it because you anticipated you would be asked about this, you didn't want to inform yourself of this incredible breach of national security?
There are millions of things going on in the world at any given time. So I just didn't happen to learn about this one.
He does not look very young, DJ Dub.
Yes, I'm sure there are millions of things going on in the world. But this happens to be probably the biggest national security story of the month, which included a lot of other national security stories, including a war in the Middle East, and capitulation to Putin and Russia. But you just happened to neglect to read this one. Is that what we're led to believe?
I just happened not to read it, that's all.
Well, let me ask you this. If you're using a commercial app to discuss the identity of targets, their locations, and that information were to become public, it could compromise those operations, couldn't it?
It depends on what the operation is and where in the operation.
Well, let's say an operation to strike targets in Yemen, Houthi targets that identify, say, a top missile
pretty specific example
operative and the location of the girlfriend's building. Those
apparently they killed. Apparently they killed a bunch of. This is, I don't know how confirmed this is. This feels like hearsay, but apparently they killed a shit ton of civilians in this building, something like 50, to get this one guy because he was visiting his girlfriend. So that should really piss people off. I mean, I have no doubt that that's what they did.
On a commercial app could jeopardize that operation.
I totally believe the story, but I have not confirmed it.
The circumstances, and
well, I just gave you the.
And that's why I'm not going to answer a hypothetical question.
Well, I'm not. It's not hypothetical. I wish to hell it were hypothetical. This just happened. This was shared with a journalist on a commercial app. You need more information.
I remember it was 52 people, but I might be mistaken on that.
Denigrating our European allies.
All over that one guy.
Could that have diplomatic fallout?
I don't know the circumstances.
Really? So the vice president's conversations on this.
Once again, I don't think that's good. I don't have that confirmed, DJ Dub. That's off the top of my head.
Completely new information to you. You're unaware. You can't comment on whether that could interfere with our relationship with our closest allies?
No, I heard of the incident. I just at this point hadn't had time to look at it closely.
Yeah.
I'm a lawyer, sir. And before I make decisions and form opinions, I need to look at the facts carefully.
Yeah, and you don't hide from the facts as a lawyer.
Absolutely
and if you want to head the National Security Division at the Department of Justice, you don't stick your head in the sand when we've had a serious breach of our national security so that you don't have to answer uncomfortable questions.
That's
Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do find it interesting that my Democrat colleagues are so enraged by this non-story and had nothing to say when we had a president who literally...
Yeah, I'm not finding the... It is confirmed about the girlfriend, but there was other people in the building. But I'm not seeing a count. There's so much... There's a deluge of news around the story. So it's kind of hard to find a certain fact. He looked like he was 100, didn't he? That's why I made the... Oh, no. No way. No way. Aw. I'm going to rewind on it.
Looks pretty good, maybe until you get to around the 10 freeway. So he's got another few miles of light traffic, I would say. And then once he gets closer to the 10, it'll start to bottleneck just a little bit.
This happened about 10 minutes ago.
For a Wednesday afternoon, again, all of that rush hour traffic appears to be coming in the opposite direction, and he just hopped
this is
right
5:58
lane whenever he sees any traffic.
LA time.
He was using there just a few minutes ago. Again, it'll be interesting to see how this all starts.
Outside of Brentwood.
Not prepared to give this up. They took this all the way out of Ventura County, down the 118 freeway, off the 405, and came right by our airport, right past Van Nuys Airport. As we up, and you can see him now continuing at about 90 miles per hour, southbound side.
California.
405 coming up on Sunset here in just a minute.
I didn't know there was a Brentwood, Oregon.
He is now back in the HOV lane. Those Simi Valley units still not too far.
Rushing to repair.
Up at now almost triple-digit speeds. California Highway Patrol, though, again.
What have I called the number?
Take this over. So if we continue here, which it looks like we will, it looks like they are preparing to hand this off to the CHP. And not.
Looks like he's already on the phone.
It's going to happen, I would say, almost any minute as soon as they have enough units in position to take this over. We saw him already pass a couple of other agencies who happen to be driving southbound, not too.
Can anyone make out? I have horrible vision. Can anyone make out the area code? Somebody give me that area code. Something. The last one's 141. I can't see it. 841, are you sure? I want to be absolutely positive.
Triple-digit speeds.
641?
California Highway Patrol, though, again, preparing to take this over. So if we continue here, which it
World
looks
Appliances.
Looks like they are preparing to hand this off to the CHP, and not too far from now. It's going to happen, I would say, almost any minute as soon as they have enough units in position to take this over. We saw them already pass a couple of other agents.
Auto 720
driving
does not have 1080.
This is a Simi Valley pursuit that is now in LA County, now in West LA as he comes up on Sunset Boulevard.
We'll see here in a second. Like, the chase had already come to an end. That's why I was disappointed when I flipped over. I was like, ooh, we got a live police chase.
Yeah, it's a touch and go situation at these speeds. You know, it's a tough call. Those supervisors and those watch commanders are always faced with
Debbie,
calls.
welcome in.
A lot of it depends on the want, and then a lot of it has to do with the behavior of the driver behind the wheel here. We don't know what these charges were. For all we know, it could be a very violent person behind the wheel. We just don't know, and if that's the case,
doing about 80
to give it up. On the other hand, but again, just the fact that they've taken this so
the
far.
black and whites are laying back, but not too far.
Serious again for Simi Valley to continue a
about
pursuit
10 car lengths
into LA County. does say something. What it says, what it tells us, we don't know, but just reading the tea leaves. It tells
661 is the area code.
Criminal behind the wheel here. They are not willing to give this up just yet, and they are still waiting out CHP as long as it's taking here. I mean, they could have handed this off a while ago, but this is now in West LA, and CHP is still getting their ducks lined up so that they can be in a position to take this over. But now, as he gets closer,
Is it wrong of me to call him?
Sure enough, as we were just saying, I see a lot more volume here in the next couple of minutes, and it'll be interesting to see if he decides to.
All calls will be recorded and monitored for training and quality purposes. Hello, you have reached World Appliance Heating and Air.
It's after hours.
And location, please stay on the line. You have reached us after hours.
Yeah.
If this is an emergency and you would like to speak to a representative and set up after hours service, please press 3.
I was gonna be like, it's JustinFREAKIN from the Troll Patrol. Do you have any comment about your van?
To get off the freeway coming up.
I think that was reasonable.
High rate of speed here. This certainly appears to be a
Whoa.
desperate person behind the wheel here. Now on the shoulder, driving very erratically, cutting a lot of people off here as he takes the exit ramp. He was intimidated by all that traffic and is now
It was an emergency, all right.
That's going to be, I think, Wilshire. We'll see here. Santa Monica Boulevard. Yep, Santa Monica Boulevard.
Black and whites are closing in now. Whoa. Just bullied his way through.
Yeah, you're right.
Riding in the median right now.
Scaring me. Look at
Other side.
motorists here as he gets swerves over those double yellow lines and oncoming lanes of traffic briefly just to get around anybody in his.
I'm glad we got Chris Christie guiding us through. He's like a soothing voice to me.
Those pursuing units at that red light there, those units had a lot of time to come up right behind him and catch up, and now he's continuing very fast speeds down Santa Monica Boulevard, going westbound on Santa Monica Boulevard at a high rate of speed.
Don't feel bad for them, Sky Comet. They're getting a show.
Very, very erratically in what is a very heavy vehicle, and you're going to start seeing a little more pedestrian traffic here. There's a skateboarder crossing the street, and look at
the cops are going to try to pit him.
Right behind him in the middle of this heavy traffic here on Santa Monica.
Aren't you glad I stopped?
Maneuver there, but it almost looked like he was going to give it a shot, or at least maybe come up right behind him. That was really, really close. And look at him picking up speed after that maneuver there. So he is.
You never know what's going to happen on the Troll Patrol.
Primary unit who had no problem.
But if you guess car chase, you might be right.
Thought he was almost going to make contact there. Really, really, really aggressive.
I do crack myself up. Oh God!
Behind the wheel of this vehicle, right through a red light.
Igloo, welcome in.
Traffic squeezing his way through.
This is not live, but almost. It could almost be live. That's what I'm saying. Like this was minutes ago.
Are still right
it's
as he does about 60 miles per hour down Santa Monica.
6:05 Pacific time. This happened at 5:48 Pacific time. Currently, as we're watching it.
Very aggressive, but a good reminder that this is a different agency. We are not used to those Ventura County agencies, believe me, have very different tactics and sometimes are often more aggressive than what we are used to seeing in this part of West LA. I will tell you that. But
West LA
Boulevard continuing to swerve around
has done a good job. I will give them so far an 8 for their driving.
He right through the red light, and every time he twists that wheel, you could see the vehicle wobble just a little bit. There's such sharp turns and erratic maneuvers that he is really showing the limits of this work truck. It is certainly a heavy-duty work truck, but, you know, it is a top-heavy vehicle, and it just doesn't behave well with that kind of driving.
He's made contact, but nothing major. Still just barreling down the road. This is rush hour traffic in LA on Santa Monica Boulevard. Yeah, that was indeed the phone number, 661. See, I was hoping I'd get a better view of it later. I'm glad you guys looked it up for me, though.
Never able to take it over, and now he's continuing these erratic moves now northbound on 11th Street. Northbound 11th.
It sucks nothing's open when we're doing the troll patrol.
Now, let's count them real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4.
We're past business hours. That's why I never get through to anybody.
Helicopter.
It'd be awesome to talk to somebody in Senator Ernst's office.
Arizona off of 11th Street, continuing westbound at a high rate of speed, coming up on 10th.
What a gorgeous little area.
Pedestrian traffic here, and you're going to see that increase the closer we get to the beach. He is heading straight towards the ocean, and there is.
Oh, that's what's a nice area. Oh, driving into traffic.
He comes up on more.
Lucky he didn't cause a crash there.
Red light, Mark and Colleen. The tension here is.
We're not exactly sure, Skycom, but I don't think we've had
helicopter. I am very nervous about this one, guys.
An indication of what's going on. Chris Christie is nervous.
That's southbound Arizona, or southbound 7th Street from Arizona. Now
once again, not the Chris Christie that was the governor of New Jersey.
Right through Santa Monica Boulevard.
This Chris Christie's super cool.
Southbound 7th here.
We like Chris Christie.
Towards the 3rd Street Promenade. LAPD with their airship right overhead. If they do have to pull off, at least they've got the helicopter to call out the position there, and then they can move local units.
Did he go down a one-way street? No, apparently not. He was just in the.
It just gets too dangerous. Now he's in a bike lane, using that bike lane.
Yeah, wrong lane.
At 5th Street. More pedestrians. Look at this. People running out of the way. Continuing westbound on Broadway now, past 4th Street, through another red light. Look at all the people here, guys. This is so dangerous. Coming up on the promenade, coming up on the 3rd Street Promenade, or one more block. He's at the promenade. Lots of pedestrians.
Wow.
Running in all different directions.
Oh, shit.
Now only 2 blocks from the beach. He will be forced to get onto Ocean or PCH here in just a second.
He might be on PCP, to be honest with you. Forget about PCH.
More pedestrians.
I've done a really good job. Thank God that dog did not get hurt.
Simi Valley continuing this pursuit. You have to wonder, we have to wonder at this point what this driver is wanted for, because there's going to be a whole lot of.
Yes, we're all wondering it.
Here in a second. We are in the busiest part of Santa Monica, right by the Santa Monica.
So close to hitting that Tesla.
Now southbound on Ocean Avenue, one of the most heavily dense areas of the city, and one of the most
8.5.
as he now makes a wild left turn past a construction vehicle here on Olympic, off of Ocean. And now continuing now in the opposite direction, going now eastbound away from the beach, and going the wrong way now on Olympic. Taking the freeway. That's the on-ramp, and that'll put him on the 10 freeway here, I think.
Oh, we've crashed.
Sideswiping an innocent vehicle, and he keeps on going. Sideswiping that vehicle, keeps on going. Simi Valley right behind him once again in hot pursuit here. That was not the entrance to the. That was not the entrance.
It's exit.
Bypassing.
He hijacked the van. Fortunately, he's in Jamaica.
Continuing on surface streets down Olympic Boulevard.
No, that's Rubio.
Missing another opportunity.
Exit's in Hawaii.
That he just missed. This would be.
Yeah, look at these but they're all in like tropical areas right now.
Been given here, but he is now.
I don't think that's a coincidence.
Going northbound 11th, and it does look by my eye that primary unit is going to attempt a dangerous pit maneuver with a top-heavy vehicle.
Oh, I'm embroiled in scandal. Let me go to Jamaica.
They are a little bit desperate here to get this person off the road as safely as possible, but they are, again, dealing with a lot of...
Oh, he's got that left front fender is fucked up.
For collateral damage almost everywhere you look here in the heart of downtown Santa Monica, paralleling the train tracks here, doing about 60 miles per hour down Colorado, and going back towards the beach. Again, he's going westbound now. He's done a full circle through this part of Santa Monica and Simi Valley.
Wait, he's just circling around?
Right behind him here. Almost showed signs of a pit maneuver. They didn't quite have the opportunity there, and now he's just another block or two, about 5 blocks.
Look at that public transit. Nice bike lanes and public transit? What is this? Whoop. You're getting a good shot inside. It's a white dude in a hoodie. He's going to bail. Oh, shit.
Ramming into more cars. The driver out of the vehicle. He's running for it. One driver now on foot.
Perhaps Mexican.
Into a bunch of cars.
White passing.
A chain reaction crash there as he continues
Could be Greek.
It's Avenue at Main Street.
Greek Heritage Month or something like that, right, Torchy?
Here, and there he is. He's still on foot. He's running.
Oh, that's totally a Greek dude.
Get away from that unit. There are going to be a number of units closing in on him at any second here as he continues crossing through traffic here, running as fast as he can. Again, through onto the Santa Monica Pier. He is now at the Santa Monica Pier, going around a barricade here, and now running onto the pier. Santa Monica police are here. Simi Valley police are here. He is now at the Santa Monica Pier. Tasers out, and this one coming to the best end possible. We can hope that everybody...
No, I was hoping he was going to jump.
But now you have police...
Everybody in the chat is also upset.
Hands behind his back, and the chase is over. But, man, that was about as heart-pounding as it gets, especially with all of that pedestrian traffic here in downtown Santa Monica. Just unbelievable stuff.
One got away the other day. He went into a parking garage. Did anybody else see that one? That was like a day or two ago. They didn't actually get the chase on camera. When the helicopters caught up with it, it was already a search for him around the parking garage, so it was really boring. Otherwise, I probably would have played it on stream. But he got away, so yay. I'm like, once again, that has been the best course of action. We've seen people in cars get away by going into parking garages.
Jumping out of the vehicle.
Something underground.
Into a bunch of people stopped at a red light. They crashed
or be on a motorcycle. Those two things will get away from the cops.
Just from what I saw there. But now they have the suspect in custody. He is being taken off of the pier.
So take it from me as someone who has watched...
show here. I mean, this is a bit more than they bargained.
No person should watch as many police chases as I've watched in my life.
So much more dangerous because that vehicle is a very dangerous vehicle. And he was running through every single red light in Santa Monica.
I have not seen stealing a boat work, but it very well could. I've seen multiple people go into harbors, off docks or something, and totally flounder, and the cops catch them super fast.
Right pedal, Ryan. Here.
Well, that was fun. I don't think anything else happens. They're still live on it. This is... Oh, just ended. There's my feed. Watch us watching them. All right, we were still talking about this goddamn signal chat. This is Representative Jim Himes going after Tulsi Gabbard earlier today.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If there's something I care as much about as the national security of the United States, it's the powers and prerogatives of this Congress and its oversight duties. So I want to spend a minute or so on yesterday's testimony in front of the Senate and direct these questions in particular to Director Patel and Director Gabbard.
Oh, I should have made a comment. You're right, Ponder
Yesterday,
Monkey.
Senator Heinrich asked,
I wish I'd seen you say that before then.
Referring to the signal chat, include information on weapons, packages, targets, or timing. Director Patel, you said not that I'm aware of. Director Gabbard, you said same answer. This morning we learned that the signal chat included the following update, forward-looking update from the Secretary of Defense. Time now, 11:44 Eastern Time. Weather is favorable. Just confirmed with CENTCOM. We are go for mission launch. 12:15 Eastern Time. F-18 launch. First strike package. 13:45 trigger-based F-18 first strike window starts. Target terrorist is at his known location, so should be on time. Also, strike drones launch. MQ-9s. 14:10 more F-18s launch. Second strike package. Do either of the directors want to reflect on their testimony yesterday in the context of what I just read?
Sure. One, I was not on that signal chat. Two, I have not reviewed it. And three, as you just indicated, that was made public this morning.
But, Director, you didn't, prior to yesterday's Senate, you were on the signal chat, correct?
No.
Nice guy comment.
Did you review the material on the signal chat?
No, I wasn't on it.
Director Gabbard?
Yes, Ranking Member. My answer yesterday was based on my recollection, or the lack thereof, on the details that were posted there. I was not, and what was shared today reflects the fact that I was not directly involved with that part of the signal chat, and replied at the end reflecting the effects, the very brief effects that the security advisor had shared.
So it's your testimony that less than 2 weeks ago, you were on a signal chat that had all of this information about F-18s and MQ-9 Reapers and targets on strike, and you in that 2-week period simply forgot that that was there. That's your testimony?
My testimony is I did not recall the exact details of what was included there.
That was not your testimony. Your testimony was that you were not aware of anything related to weapons packages, targets, and timing.
As the testimony yesterday continued on, there were further questions related to that.
Orb, I'm actually amazed that they came in for the hearings. I'm amazed that these hearings have taken place this fucking quickly. This is like blown my mind. A lot of it is political theater. But, I mean, hopefully something will come of it. They are under oath. Tulsi Gabbard lied to Congress under oath. That supposedly is a crime.
I acknowledge that there was conversation.
I say supposedly.
And I don't remember the exact wording that I used, but I did not recall the specific details that were included.
Director Gabbard, you've reasserted that there was no classified information. I think we can all agree that that information shouldn't have been out there. But let me ask you this. Are you familiar with the ODNI?
Oh, was the first hearing scheduled? I wondered that.
I'm familiar with it.
I've actually got a copy right here. If I read you a part of that guidance, I wonder if you could tell me what the level of classification indicated is. I'm reading from your classification guidance. And the criteria is information providing indication or advance warning that the U.S. or its allies are preparing an attack. Do you recall what your own guidance would suggest that be classified?
I don't have the specifics in front of me, but it would point to what was shared would fall under the DoD's classification system.
I'm pretty sure you're correct, Flash.
Defense's authority.
So let me help you, because there's a very clear answer.
And what is not.
You don't. I guess you don't have it, but information providing this is the ODNI guidance. Information providing indication or advance warning that the U.S. or its allies are preparing an attack should be classified as top secret. Do you disagree with that?
I don't disagree with that. I just point out that the DoD classification guidance is separate from the ODNI's classification.
The Democrats are going to bungle this, though, aren't they? This is the biggest layup in the history of politics. The Republicans have already primed their fucking voters to national security, blah, 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 like the Hillary Clinton thing. Seriously, it's more egregious than Hillary Clinton. Hands down, couldn't be a clearer example in just sheer plain politics. This is an absolute, it's not even a layup, it's a slam dunk. And the Democrats are still going to bungle it, aren't they?
Do you think it would be materially different?
Ultimately, the Secretary of Defense holds the authority to classify or declassify.
Do you think it's likely that DOD guidance is materially different from what I
You may be right, Flash.
I haven't reviewed the DOD guidance, so I can't comment.
Director Gabbard, a lot of this suggests sort of a lack of sobriety. When there's punch emojis and fire emojis, it's a lack of sobriety. I don't mean that literally.
Somebody else is going to ask about it literally, though.
Because I think people really listen to what you have to say. You, on March 15th, as DNI, retweeted a post from Ian Miles Chong, who is listed on RT, that's Russia Today's
My God.
as, quote, a political and cultural commentator.
I don't know why that surprises me, though.
To RT since at least 2022. Director Gabbard, do you think that it's responsible for you as head of the intelligence community and the principal presidential intelligence advisor to retweet posts from individuals affiliated with Russian state media?
That retweet came
This
from
is
my
Representative
personal
Jim
account,
Himes.
and I would have to go back to look at the substance of the tweet.
Can I, just so that we don't have a lack of confusion amongst our allies and enemies and us, can I act perhaps that you not think that you should be saying one thing on your personal account than you say officially?
I maintain my First Amendment rights to be able to express my own personal views on different issues.
Thank you. I yield back, Mr. Chairman.
Gentleman yields now.
Not military. Has a degree in philosophy. He is like what you would call deep state, I guess. Has a degree in philosophy from Harvard and worked at Goldman Sachs. He was born to a father who worked for the Ford Foundation and was the director of UNICEF, so definitely from privilege. But speaking of military, a military wife got on Twitter, and you know how Senator Mark Wayne Mullen, he likes to fight? Mark Wayne may be getting into a fight. A military wife rips Hegseth for risking her husband's life in viral video. The wife of an active duty service member slammed Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, President Donald Trump, and Republicans online for attempting to downplay the Signal chat leak. We have a video. I thought we had a video.
Imagine thinking so little of yourself that the most that you expect out of your elected leaders, people that you pay the salary of, is owning the libs. Like, imagine not having esteem or self-respect to expect your elected leaders to improve your life in some structural way. Especially when those politicians literally got their job by promising to do so. You know, over the last 24 hours, ever since my most recent video went viral, where I was talking about the Signal chat situation as the wife of an active duty service member who is currently deployed near Yemen right now, my mentions and inbox on every platform have been filled with thousands of cruel comments from conservatives. And the cruelty of their comments doesn't shock me. What shocks me is how much those comments have revealed about how little they think of themselves. These people literally do not believe that they deserve to have elected leaders who don't commit espionage. They don't believe that they deserve to have elected leaders who don't lie to them. Like, I know that they don't just think that I deserve anything. I get that. I know that they think that I'm a huge piece of garbage, and by extension, my active duty service member is also a piece of garbage, and it doesn't matter if he gets killed in action. I get that. I'm very, very clear on what their stance is on that. But how do they not think that they deserve better? I mean, imagine thinking that you are so unimportant as a person that it literally does not matter how your elected leaders' actions harm you as it also harms the libs. They are literally placing more emphasis on liberals' lives than they are on their own. The subtext of every single one of these cruel messages that I've gotten is that they literally think that the people they despise most in this world are more important than they are. That's sad. That is so unbearably sad. Please Please do whatever work you need to do to learn and really truly believe in the core of yourself that you deserve better. You don't have to believe that I deserve better. You don't have to believe that the left deserves better or that liberals deserve better. But you shouldn't go through life not understanding that you deserve better. What a sad, sad life.
So apparently that was the first video, or that was the second video. That was a follow-up. Where's the first one? This one?
But I do want to make it very clear, and I hope that you will take down this message and relay it to the senator to help encourage him to actually be a man and
Mark Wayne Mullen.
make sure that I get a call set up when I reach out to the scheduler. I want you to let him know that if he doesn't reach out to me, I'm recording every single time that I have called his office and left a voicemail or spoke to an intern like you. I am recording all of those. And if I don't hear back from him, I will be sending them to every possible newsroom, both in Oklahoma and nationally, to let them know that the senator is too much of a coward to call back the wife of one of the service members in his constituency that was put at risk. And so help me God, if I have to quit my fucking job to make sure that I can drive to every fucking campaign and public event that the senator has for the rest of his career, I will make it my life's work to destroy his career by making sure that every fucking Oklahoman knows how few fucks he gave about my husband's life and the lives of other active duty service members.
Yes, ma'am. I understand.
All right, what is...
Wow. And I still don't think that's the original video.
This is a message for all of the Gen Z dudes who keep commenting your body, my choice in the reply.
Okay, that's too far back. I don't know. I tried. I'll give her a follow. What a profile pic. I do believe Mark Wayne Mullen responded back at some point in time. Here we go. If he responded to her. Oh, this
Signal thing.
This is just him talking about the Signal chat, not actually responding to her.
I want to talk about this Signal thing again with the Houthis. It's interesting to me that the Democrats are losing their loving mind over this. There was no classified information that was being shared over Signal. Signal is an encrypted app that's somewhat secured. Was the conversation something that could have happened or should have happened? I don't know. But at least it was a conversation. But to compare the two between Hillary Clinton and what President Trump's cabinet members were doing is absolutely absurd. It's not even comparing apples and oranges. At least both of those are somewhat in the same shape. This is like comparing an apple to a steak.
Wow.
No comparison at all between the two. Hillary Clinton was sending classified documents.
No, she wasn't.
Stamped TS or TSSCI. There was no classified documents. There was no classified information. It may have been sensitive, but it was an open.
There was no classified documents
over
in Hillary Clinton's possession.
You should be glad that the conversation took place. You could see that
an investigation proved that.
It was thoughtful, it was collective, and at the end of the day, they did the right thing. They went right after this terrorist organization and shut them up. Thank God we have a president that's leading from strength.
Wow. Senator Mark Wayne Mullen, everybody. Is Mark Wayne his first name or his last name? Marjorie Taylor Greene got testy with a reporter today.
What country are you? Wait, what country are you from?
the UK.
Okay, we don't give a crap about your opinion and your reporting. Why don't you go back to your country where you have a major migrant problem? And you no. You should.
This upset Warlord. I want you to know that he posted this immediately. Very, very upsetting to Warlord.
What country are you? Wait, what country are you from?
the UK.
Okay, we don't give a crap about your opinion and your reporting. Why don't you go back to your country where you have a major migrant problem? And you, no, you should care about your own borders.
Do you care
no,
about
no,
American
I,
lives
no,
being put
no.
at risk?
Let me tell you something. Do you care about people from your country? What about all the women that are raped by migrants?
Do you care
No,
about
by migrants. No, do you care? Okay, you're done.
Do you care about
not,
American lives being put at risk?
You know what? I don't
about
care.
service members fighting for your country.
I don't care about
and
your
vice
fake news.
president
Do you have a
and your
relevant
defense
question?
secretary?
Yeah, this is an American journalist. Thank you.
I'm an American, and I'd like to hear your answer to what she's asking.
I'm not answering her question.
Wow. I'm an American journalist. I'd like to hear your answer to what she's asking. Amazing.
I'm an American, and I'd like to hear your answer to what she's asking.
I'm not answering her question because I don't care about her network. If you would like to ask, I can answer.
Do you have any concerns whatsoever about the complete disregard of operational security from the top level?
She's fuming.
You want to know about complete disregard about operational security? You should talk about the Biden administration and how they ripped our borders open to terrorist, cartel, child sex trafficking, human trafficking, and drug trafficking across our borders for 4 years. The Trump administration is doing a great job, and I stand by their statements. I stand by their statements. My comment to you is I'm thankful to President Trump that he is leading us out of wars.
Wow.
Ukraine, where American lives could have been killed if Joe Biden was still president today, whether he liked it or not. We're talking about NPR and PBS today. We're talking about
We're going to get to that.
Funded with federal funding from American taxpayers. That's what this is about today, not journalists from the UK that care about
A journalist is being vilified for exposing.
Amazing. That is called a meltdown. Now the question. Earlier, someone implied that Hexeth might have been, I don't even know what they said now. They said they didn't mean it literally. And I was like, no, literally. He could have been drunk. Was Pete Hexeth drunk on the Signal chat?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I want to make a few things clear before we move on to other questions regarding the Signal chat.
Was Representative
Gabbard, yesterday before the Senate
Cesar
Intelligence Committee, specifically when answering Senator Kelly, you repeatedly said you did not recall any discussion in the Houthi PC small group discussing operational details, strike targets, the type of vehicles and military units involved, or the timing and order of strikes. Do you stand by your testimony from yesterday that you do not recall any of the discussions regarding this type of classified information? Yes or no?
My response in the Senate yesterday, yes, I stand by that response.
You stand by it.
Obviously, the release of the screenshots that came from that chat group today were a refresher on what happened.
I'm sorry.
I was not.
This is Representative Jimmy Gomez from California. My apologies.
Involved with that portion of the chat, so it did not come to my recollection yesterday.
Thank you. So I take that as you stand by your do not recall yesterday stance when you're asked those questions. You've been in office 43 days. Director Radcliffe has been in office 62 days. This was considered the first major military operation using lethal force of the Trump administration. Was this the first, this was probably the first time that you've been involved with a discussion like this on a thread. It was not discussing, you were not on a group chat discussing where we're gonna go for lunch. You're discussing putting men and women of the armed services in harm's way. That's a major decision. So, and when did that happen? 10 days ago? Okay, I'll answer that. It happened 10 days ago. Here's the point. Like something of this magnitude, it's something that you would not forget. It's something that most people, if you're taking this job so seriously, that you would not forget. I mean, since I've been on this committee, there's been days that I have woken up in the middle of the night from the things I learned in SCIF. So deciding to use military force is something hard to imagine. So the do not recall doesn't pass the smell test. It makes it, it's unbelievable that was the case.
Orb, yes.
So that's what the American people.
It's on like the front page of the Atlantic.
And I know a lot of folks in this administration were saying that they're going to take on the establishment and drain the swamp, but you have become that swamp in a matter of days, not weeks or months, days. So
don't leave us. Stay, watch the show.
What actually occurred? Because the American people deserve a full accounting. Additionally, the main person who was involved in this thread that a lot of people want to talk to is Secretary of Defense Hegseth. And a lot of questions were brought up regarding his drinking habits in his confirmation hearing. To your knowledge, do you know whether Pete Hegseth had been drinking before he leaked classified information?
Seriously?
I don't have any knowledge of Secretary Hegseth's personal habits.
Director Radcliffe, same question. Yes or no?
No, I'm going to answer that. I think that's an offensive line of questioning. The answer is no.
No, it's not.
I find it interesting that you want to. I'm going to answer. You asked me a question. Do you want an answer?
No, listen.
You don't want to focus on the good work that the CIA is doing. That the intelligence community.
Director, I reclaim my time.
Good work the fucking CIA is doing, my ass. Got testy though. Radcliffe came to fight today.
Or no?
No, I'm going to answer that. I think that's an offensive line of questioning. The answer is no. I find it interesting that you want to. I'm going to answer. You asked me a question. Do you want an answer?
No, listen.
You don't want to focus on the good work that the CIA is doing, that the intelligence community.
Director, I reclaim my time. Director, I reclaim my time. Here, I have huge respect for the CIA, huge respect for our men and women in uniform.
Well, you just lost my respect.
That's on the top of minds of every American.
Name 3 good things.
Right? He stood in front of a podium in Europe holding a drink. So, of course, we want to know if his performance is compromised. If people were asking if the General Austin was compromised because of a heart issue,
was his performance compromised because of a successful strike?
Back. Mr. I bring my.
You want to know?
You
want to talk about accepting responsibility? Do you think you should accept responsibility for a successful strike to make Americans safer? You want to focus on.
I reclaim my time.
It wasn't about Americans.
So here's
making us safer.
This is serious. As somebody, we've been briefed in this committee about using Signal. One of the things they basically said: the most secure phone call, the least secure text messaging. And we know that your people are Russians, Chinese are on your phone.
Gentleman's time's expired. Gentleman from Virginia, Mr. Clark.
Once again, he's just like, it's illegal. It's illegal to be using Signal. The Democrats are not making a big a deal about it as they should. It's insane. Fox News has a renowned national security correspondent, this Jennifer Griffin. We've watched her several times on the show. Much like the election guy, their chief elections correspondent. Like, he was one of the best in the business. She is also considered one of the best national security correspondents in the business. Now, that's not, praise being a shill for defense industries, Let's get it straight. But she is considered very good at her job. You would think Fox News would have her on talking about this issue, wouldn't you? Fox News chief national security correspondent Jennifer Griffin has been with the network for over 25 years, providing frontline reporting from locations around the globe, including Jerusalem and Moscow. She's a Harvard alumni with decades of experience and vast sources throughout the military. See, they're glazing her. And intelligence community. So why isn't she on air reporting about how the Pentagon's plans to strike the Houthi rebels were leaked to a journalist who was mistakenly added to a group chat? The political world was stunned Monday by a report from Jeffrey Goldberg, editor-in-chief of The Atlantic, describing how National Security Advisor Mike Waltz had accidentally added him to a group chat. In his article, Goldberg excoriated Waltz and the other participants in the chat for the shocking recklessness of his Signal conversation. Griffin has tweeted numerous times since Goldberg's story broke, often directly contradicting claims made by Trump, Hexeth, Waltz, and other White House officials, and sometimes even her own Fox News colleagues, in defense of the Signal chat. Besides retweeting other journalists around the country who are covering the story, Griffin has also added her own reporting, often including links and screenshots in support. Her first tweet about the story came a little more than an hour after it was published on the Atlantic's website, and shared a link to the article along with a caption that read, "The Trump administration does not deny the Signal group chat about the war planning for the Yemen strike is real." Trump's top national security advisors added reporter at Jeffrey Goldberg at The Atlantic to the war planning text chain on non-government social media app, perhaps breaking secrecy laws. Even she, her first response was to say this is illegal. The Fox News correspondent. You gotta go to the archive website. Let me see if I have it here real fast. Put your Atlantic article into that. That'll fix it. Even the Fox News correspondent saying that it's illegal. But Fox won't have her on. Amazing, isn't it? But hey, Jim Jordan says there is bias at NPR.
Maher, who is Uri Berliner?
Mr. Berliner.
No way. Let's do it. Let's do it. Fucking A, Live Chase. Thank you, Meatcakes. Goddamn, Chris Christie earning his keep tonight, isn't he?
A second when we can to see if there's anybody behind him, but it does look like law enforcement has pulled back. He is now at a shopping mall here in Burbank, in North Hollywood rather, at Hollywood Way and Oxnard Street. Let's see here, coming around the building.
Whoa!
He's got that bumper.
Dragging the bumper.
But nobody behind him, guys. It does look like California Highway Patrol has pulled off and he's using the parking garage.
Oh, he's going to the parking garage. This is how you get away from the cops. He's been watching the show.
Drivers end up because that is.
This is the same mall I think we saw somebody get away.
Walk away after the run of his life here, after a wild and dangerous chase on the freeway, getting off.
We only got like 2 minutes of it.
Giving us a bit of agita up here in Air 7 as he continues to swerve around every car in his way.
This is about 2 minutes ago, 3 minutes ago, something like that. They're clocking him at over 100 right now.
Taking the 170 at 110 miles per hour. He's finding a little more room to play with here, and he's using every inch of it now, pushing the gas pedal to over 110 miles per hour and continuing these wild lane changes that are going to result in nothing good if he continues driving.
It is a pretty car.
This clip. Look at.
Wait, is this a VW? Is that what you said, Flash?
And the vehicle appears to be behaving pretty well. Thankfully, it's a well-built Lexus that
it's a Lexus.
Can handle this kind of driving. But you know, one wrong move at these speeds is all it takes, and it doesn't matter what.
Lexus is a good car.
This could end very, very badly, and there is just so many.
Oh, that looks like a Nissan.
Collateral damage here again, northbound on the 170, getting off of the 101 freeway at 90 miles per hour, slowing down just slightly. But you'd much rather see it on the freeway than had he stayed in the.
That's what I'm saying. It looks like a Nissan symbol or some shit.
Streets before getting right back on the freeway. You have to wonder where he wants to go here. Look at that, taking an exit ramp, a little too much traffic for his liking, and is now taking the northbound exit ramp here in North Hollywood off of the 101 freeway.
All right, so confirmed Lexus.
I think Oxnard Street, as he has a red light.
A hell of a nice car.
Of course, he's going to resort to that shoulder, and we'll see if there's anybody behind him. There was talk of actually.
I'm a Toyota guy, so.
After the pit maneuver, I thought that would have committed them to this, but it looks like he's just using it to transition maybe back onto the freeway here. We'll widen out in a second when we can to see if there's anybody behind him, but it does look like law enforcement has pulled back. He is now at a shopping mall here.
All right, so this is where we joined.
North Hollywood, rather.
We're going to go ahead and flip back to
Hollywood Way and
almost live.
Sign of a perimeter, Burbank PD.
They're still looking for him. This is live. So we're back with it. We have a search for the suspect. I hope they get away. If they don't even have a a description of what he looks like. Or she. We've seen a lot of
this is the
women
the NoHo West mall
in chases.
In Hollywood. It's right off of the freeway, and you're right, David. It does look like, for the most part, they're counting their. I'll tell you why this surprises me, though. Even though we don't see a lot of law enforcement here, it's very rare that they execute a pit maneuver like that, which creates a whole lot of paperwork and a lot of liability. Every time they execute a pit maneuver, it creates new liability for the department, and it makes it more consequential in terms of how this is resolved for a number of legal reasons. And so usually, once they make that decision and actually make contact, that is somebody, that person, and whoever else is inside that vehicle, if there is anybody hurt during the.
Is that the LAPD airship?
That is possibly the fault of.
It is.
Law enforcement takes those risks in order.
Not very
to
impressive.
Keep the public safe and take these people off of the road. That's one tactic that they used. It's approved. It's legal, but there
Shouldn't be able to call that thing an airship.
Of injury during those pit maneuvers, and so it's very rare that those pit maneuvers are executed and then the pursuit is abandoned. Once they engage with a suspect like that, and actually, every time, think about it, every time you approve the pit maneuver, you are approving the damage of city property, because those police vehicles are also damaged during pit maneuvers. That is all. I can't tell you the amount of paperwork and legal consequences that come from a pit maneuver. Something as simple
air jet ski
during these pursuits.
There you go.
A whole lot of baggage, and so it's just so rare to see something like that, and then them watch.
Yeah, I think of airship. I'm thinking of.
Suspect go.
You guys remember Tailspin? They had the Sky Pirates. The Sky Pirates had an airship. You get to the third disc of Final Fantasy VII, you get an airship. You get to the third act of most Final Fantasies, you get an airship. A blimp could be an airship. Are we losing it? Don't leave us. Don't leave us, Chris. Oh, Blue was totally hitting that. Like, that's the only scenario that makes sense. I forget her name now. Oh, God, they did go off. Aw. Well, I hope they got away. Let's get to more news. We have video of federal agents abducting a grad student from Tufts University.
News.
Might one up, tip one back.
6 o'clock Sky Eye live near the Tufts University campus where people are protesting the detainment of a Turkish PhD student. Federal officials say the doctoral student was supporting Hamas. But officials haven't said how she was supporting that terrorist organization. Thanks for staying with us. I'm Lisa Hughes.
And I'm David Wade. That student is now in a Louisiana detention center. Her arrest sending shockwaves through the Tufts campus. WBZ's Beth Germano was live for us at this protest tonight where people are calling for that.
Hey, DHS, I support Hamas. Come get me. Come on, motherfuckers. She had the wrong thing on Instagram or the TikTok.
That student to be released immediately, Beth.
Well, hundreds are gathered here in support of Rumeysa Ozturk at a park outside the Tufts University campus, and the crowd continues to grow. As you indicate, there is outrage on the campus that she was suddenly snatched by ICE agents on a Somerville street late yesterday afternoon.
Pam Bondi can suck a dick.
Contact her, and neighbors we spoke with say it appears federal agents were watching and waiting.
Tom Homan can suck a dick.
The screams of a frightened Tufts University graduate student as a half-dozen ICE agents intercept her on a Somerville sidewalk and cuff her late Tuesday afternoon. Neighbors heard...
Pam Bondi can specifically suck my dick. She can be my GOP mommy if she wants to. Yeah, fuck these motherfuckers. This is no time for me to be joking.
On a Somerville sidewalk and cuff her late Tuesday afternoon.
Where the police?
Neighbors heard questioning what's happening.
Can I see some faces here? How do I know this is the police?
Her attorney says Rumeysa Ozturk, a PhD student, is a Turkish national here on an international student visa. She was
legally
on the sidewalk near her home, about to get dinner with friends to break her Ramadan fast, when the masked agents took her into custody and put her in an unmarked vehicle. Neighbors claim they've been watching the area.
We had noticed a person sitting in a Ford Explorer, black Ford Explorer, just on the corner of our street for a full day with the engine on and taking notes, so we were a little bit surprised to see that.
That's one of the cars, and that's the other car that's kind of involved here.
It was Mike Mathis's security camera that caught the arrest, saying one of the vans had been on the street yesterday since the early morning.
I live in Somerville. You know, we're supposed to be a sanctuary city. We're supposed to be a place of safety. She's a student.
It's not even a sanctuary city. Has nothing to do with it because she is here 100% legally. Fuck.
It's unclear why Ozturk was targeted. She had allegedly voiced support for the pro-Palestinian movement at Tufts.
Yep, there you go.
Known as a prominent leader. Her studies included how refugee children are underrepresented in the media.
If this were to happen to Rumeysa, that means that could happen to anyone who comes to the U.S. on a valid visa.
Her friend and former teacher, Rayan Bilge, believes a group claiming to combat rise in anti-Semitism on college campuses posted her information online, which she says is the farthest from the truth.
She's pro-Palestinian. We need to make a definition here, and we need to actually state very clearly that she is not anti-Semitic.
The arrest is now having a chilling impact on this campus and beyond. Governor Healy also weighing in.
So I'm very concerned that actions by the Trump administration to signal to students in other countries, don't come to Massachusetts. That's a very bad thing. It's a bad thing for science. It's a bad thing for research. It's a very bad thing for our economy.
So a very large crowd of supporters has gathered here as the arrest has sent shockwaves through the campus. The president of Tufts says the university had no pre-knowledge of this arrest, and it does now appear that her visa status has been terminated. And again, the Department of Homeland Security has now confirmed she's in an ICE detention center in Louisiana. Reporting live from Somerville, I'm Beth Germano, WBZ News.
Jesus Christ. Fuck. We covered the story of... I'm pretty sure we covered the story of... Hold on here, hold on. At Georgetown, ICE detained a researcher by the name of Bader Khan-Suri. I actually don't know if this is happening so often I can't even keep up if we covered it.
News 4 rundown.
This was earlier today. Was it Georgetown University? Or no, it was yesterday.
The detainment of two people who were in the U.S. legally by Immigration and Customs Enforcement has captured the nation's attention. Today, Georgetown University students and faculty gathered to support both of them. On the left there, Mahmoud Khalil, a former Columbia University graduate student, Palestinian activist, and legal American citizen. On the right, Badr Khan-Suri, a Georgetown professor, postdoctoral scholar, and an Indian citizen in the U.S. on a student visa. Agents arrested him last week at his home in Arlington, Virginia. And that is where we begin on this Tuesday, March 25th. Thanks for joining us for the News 4 Rundown. I'm Sean Yancey. Well,
hey,
tonight,
Sean.
Professor Suri is still in ICE custody in Louisiana. The Trump administration accused him of spreading Hamas propaganda. But as News 4's Drew Wilder reports, his colleagues called his arrest a blatant attack on free speech.
It is!
Free Badr Khan!
More than 100 students and faculty filled Georgetown University's Red Square, demanding the release of their teacher and colleague, Badr Khan-Suri. Suri is an Indian national who was researching at Georgetown on a student visa until masked ICE agents arrested him outside of his Arlington County home last week, revoked his student visa, and detained him at a federal facility in Louisiana.
Badr Khan-Suri's only crime, and I'm using crime here in quotes, as far as I can see, is that he's married to a Palestinian from Gaza.
A Department of Homeland Security spokesperson accused Suri of spreading Hamas propaganda and having ties to known terrorists. His colleagues say this arrest is an attack on free speech and suggest this is only the start of the Trump administration's attack on people who oppose their policies.
He was working here legally and doing amazing work on peace studies and conflict globally, and nothing he did violated his work visa.
Last week, a federal judge ruled Suri could not be deported, but he is still in custody.
We also
insane
and demand that Georgetown call for Dr. Suri's immediate release.
Suri's case is similar to the arrest of Columbia University student Mahmoud Khalil, an outspoken supporter of Palestinians and critical of the Trump administration's foreign policy. Today on Capitol Hill, the first Palestinian American to serve in Congress spoke out.
Mahmoud Khalil right now is a political prisoner. We are demanding his release, of course, today.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio is exercising a rarely used provision of immigration law, which allows the secretary to deport non-citizens if the secretary determines the person could threaten U.S. policy while living in the U.S. One of Suri's students says he is being attacked for exercising his free speech.
It's been a heartache on our community. It's been a heartache on every single person that always is in community with him as well. Sorry.
Badr Khan-Suri was living in the U.S. with his American citizen wife and their 3 kids. On the signs of some of Suri's supporters today, a picture drawn by one of his kids. Come soon. I miss you, Dad. Reporting at Georgetown University, Drew Wilder, News 4.
I would like to read something to you for no reason at all. No reason at all. First they came for the communists, and I did not speak out because I was not a communist. And they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. They came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. And then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. And then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak out for me. textbook. Completely unrelated to what we're talking about now currently. We have new court documents released in the case of Luigi Mangione.
Some big revelations in court documents today in the case of Luigi Mangione, who faces murder charges in the death of the United Healthcare CEO. The documents from Mangione's arraignment revealed what he had in his backpack at the time of his arrest. And we've also learned a fan tried to sneak a secret message into the alleged killer's sock during his court appearance. And we are here.
How is he that photogenic? There's no way. There is no way he is getting convicted. No way.
More about Mangione's request to have a laptop while in custody. Eyewitness News reporter Lauren Glassberg in the newsroom with today's developments. Lauren?
Well, Sandra, Luigi Mangione is being held at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, and he had asked for access to a laptop to prepare for his defense. But the prosecution responded in a filing yesterday saying that Mangione has ample access to desktop computers like other inmates do to do his own research, and that a laptop or, quote, specialized laptop isn't warranted. Just one of the interesting bits of information revealed in the past 24 hours.
Luigi, what do you think of the support for you outside?
26-year-old Mangione is accused of killing the CEO of a health insurance company in New York City on December 4th. Authorities call it a targeted killing with the intention of taking a stand against the insurance industry. When Mangione was arrested days later in Altoona, Pennsylvania, authorities took his backpack into evidence. It had a gun and
he's going to get really fucking lucky that the cops in Altoona are dumb fucks, isn't he? They fucked everything up taking him into custody. And then the New York officials like Eric Adams and all that bullshit walking in with him. Oh my God, they fucked everything up about this.
Writings inside. And according to another court document, we now know that the backpack also held a Glock magazine, 9mm cartridges, a silencer, a knife, duct tape, and zip ties.
His tools.
According to authorities, that he intended to remain on the run and possibly kill again. Mangione has attracted many admirers, thanks in part to some of his social media posts. And it turns out someone, perhaps one of those admirers, was able to get him a message. Yesterday's court filing detailed how Mangione was allowed to change out of jail-issued clothes for his last court appearance in February. His defense team handed over a bag of clothes for him to change into. Those items were inspected, and that's when an investigator found a new pair of Argyle socks wrapped around cardboard.
Okay.
According to the document, secreted in the cardboard were two personal heart-shaped notes, one addressed to an unknown person named Joan, and the other to Luigi, stating in part, "No, there are thousands of people wishing."
Thousands.
Mangione ended up not wearing the socks because he didn't think they looked good. That it was fortunate that only handwritten notes were smuggled in and not something that could have harmed the transporting officers. Mangione has pleaded not guilty to state and federal murder charges.
This is going to be the trial of the century. I can't wait. We are in the crime section of the show now, so content warning. Especially this one. This is, disturbing. The next couple of stories might be disturbing. I like Argyle socks. I don't know what you're talking about, Lenny. We'll disagree on that one. You remember Robert Morris? This is Trump's former spiritual advisor. He turned out to be a pedo.
So from heartbreak to a high-profile case playing out here, Robert Morris, the founder of Gateway Church in North Texas, surrendered to authorities in Oklahoma. He is out of jail on bond right now, but we do have Doug in the newsroom. And I know, Doug, you've been...
How are you going to let him out on bond?
Case today. What are we learning?
Well, the biggest, of course, Nicole, something we've all been talking about since last week. He's going to turn himself in, and that finally happened today. So the next steps...
Crimes against children... And he has money to be able to go on the run.
Have been taken. Today, though, brings a far different picture of Mr. Morris compared to the video that we've been airing of the former senior pastor of Gateway Church. This now, the mugshot of Morris, released by the Orange County Sheriff's Office earlier today. Morris, we know, surrendered early this morning, and according to jail documents, spent about an hour or so being processed. And then as part of it, he was able to be released on $50,000 bond, which he...
That's all?
He did have to surrender his passport as part of this agreement. Also, a multi-county grand jury indicted Morris last week on 5 counts of lewd or indecent acts with a child. And Morris's attorney did decline to comment on the charges. We did ask, but they have...
50 grand is all?
Shire. She is the woman who has accused Morris openly of sexually abusing her multiple times back in the 1980s. She says she is, in fact, the victim referred to in the indictment. She told us that last week. And she says she was just 12 years old when Morris was a traveling evangelist staying with her and her family, according to the Attorney General's office through the paperwork. Shire told us last week that she was in the courtroom when the indictments were announced, and told us that she is grateful that authorities are now pursuing the case. And during services, by the way, Saturday and yesterday, we were listening in. Gateway Church did acknowledge the indictment of Morris, their former leader. Leaders of the church right now said that Gateway is not involved in the investigation since Morris resigned last year. However, they say that they are praying for everyone who is affected. So that catches us all up.
I'm glad they're praying.
What's happened? So the big question now, what's next? Morris scheduled to be in court in Oklahoma. It's going to be Friday, the 9th of May, so just under 2 months from now. That'll be his initial appearance in court. His attorney expects Morris to plead not guilty. According to the Oklahoma Attorney General, by the way, Morris could face up to 20 years in prison for each of the 5 charges if he, in fact, is found guilty. So that's what happened today, and what's coming around the corner, Nicole.
Yeah, a lot that we're going to be watching, especially since the victim in this case self-identified from those documents.
Pedo Jesus.
We've got a date. We've got something to look forward to, so we'll be on top of it. Doug, thank you.
Twitch banned the term pedo Jesus. Perhaps the Lord struck me down. Maybe that was God's way of telling me you shouldn't be talking like that. Podcast people, for those who don't, I lost signal again. I need to call my ISP, get new equipment. I might take tomorrow night off because they won't come tomorrow. They'll come fucking Friday. So I might just take tomorrow night off so we don't have these issues. And I'll see you guys Friday night for requests. Battle of Possum. You came for one of the wildest headlines I've ever read in my 25 years of doing news. Right after I had the idea to do a cartoon called Pedo Jesus. An Atlanta bagpiper died while scuba diving. They apparently found his son who vanished 4 years ago dead at his home.
Death investigation. A man died while on vacation. That's tragic enough. But then it gets strange. When his family went to his house to settle his affairs, they found skeletal remains believed to be his missing son. Channel 2's Tom Jones, live now in Decatur with the story. And Tom, so many layers here.
Tom Jones, that is unusual. I'm going to say it.
So many, George. You can see
outside flowers where someone has placed them in memory of Henry Hank France, believed to be the man whose skeleton remains were found in a treehouse behind his father's home here. All of this after his father died during a scuba diving incident in Hawaii.
We've been friends for so long.
Leonard E. Wood has been friends with Henry France Jr. for more than 50 years.
I'm the godfather for one of his daughters.
They also were a part of the Atlanta Pipe Band, which France was a founding member. The 74-year-old France was well known for playing his bagpipes at events all around Atlanta for years.
Henry just saw them, heard them, liked them.
Then France went on vacation in Hawaii. Police say he was killed March 10th there during a scuba diving incident. Wood says it's a huge loss, not just for France's family.
He would be sadly missed by the piping community in Atlanta.
The piping community.
Then, 6 days after France's death, Decatur police say family members located skeletal remains in a treehouse at this home. It's where France used to live. Wood says one of France's daughters told him it was her 28-year-old brother Hank, who had been missing for 4 years.
Terrible tragedy. I can't imagine, because Hank was a young man.
And
so this dude might not have killed him. Maybe he was just in the... And nobody thought to look in the treehouse?
investigator with the medical examiner's office told me it's probably Hank, but he said they're still trying to confirm his identity. He also said he doesn't have a cause of death and doesn't suspect foul play. Wood said France was a great man, and he said he didn't know much about his son.
All I know is he's a good kid. That was an awful shock.
How old was the kid? I missed that. Hold on. We gotta do not fuck with the piping community. We've got to go back.
A mysterious death investigation. A man died while on vacation. That's tragic enough. But then it gets strange. When his family went to his house to settle his affairs, they found skeletal remains believed to be his missing son. Channel 2's Tom Jones, live now in Decatur with the story. And Tom, so many layers here.
So many, George. You can see outside flowers where someone has placed them in memory of Henry Hank France, believed to be the man whose skeleton remains were found in a treehouse behind his father's home here. All of this after his father died during a scuba diving incident.
They're calling him a man.
We've been friends for so long.
Leonard E. Wood has been friends with Henry France Jr. for more than 50 years.
I'm the godfather for one of his daughters.
They also were a part of the Atlanta Pipe Band, which France was a founding member. The 74-year-old France was well known for playing his bagpipes at events all around Atlanta for years.
Henry just saw them, heard them, liked them.
Then France went on vacation in Hawaii. Police say he was killed March 10th there during a scuba diving incident. Wood says it's a huge loss, not just for France's family.
He would be sadly missed by the piping community in Atlanta and other places.
Then, 6 days after France's death, Decatur police say family members located skeletal remains in a treehouse at this home. It's where France used to live. Wood says one of France's daughters told him it was her 28-year-old brother Hank, who had been missing for 4 years.
28.
Terrible tragedy. I can't imagine, because Hank was a young man.
An investigator with the medical examiner's office told me it's probably Hank, but he said
Bankhead is the widest community in Atlanta.
He also said he doesn't have a cause of death and doesn't suspect foul play. Wood said France was a great man, and he said he didn't know much about his son.
All I know is he's a good kid. That was an awful shock.
And police in Maui continue to investigate the elder France's death. They reached out to his daughters but did not hear back. We're live in DeKalb County in Decatur. Tom Jones, Channel 2 Action News.
There may be no foul play so far, but there's a lot to investigate here. Tom Jones, thank you.
Tom Jones. What a headline, though. We're going to go to Alabama, where new body cam video shows moments before Alabama police fatally shot a... Of course he was a black man. This happened in 2023. They're just now releasing the body cam footage.
To the facts and evidence presented in this case, the grand jury unanimously returned an indictment against Mac Bailey Marquette, charging him with the crime of murder.
After months of investigations into the shooting death of Steve Perkins, a former Decatur police officer is now charged with murder. Morgan County District Attorney Scott Anderson announced.
Oh, I believe this is the one where there was a company that came to repossess his truck, but they had made a mistake. Like he was up on his payments and everything, and for some reason they brought the cops, and it was at night. If I remember, this is the story. This is Decatur, Alabama. And he was legally armed, so the headline kind of makes it sound funky. He was legally armed and had no reason to think that, you know, these weren't people trying to rob him. And the cops shot him.
Facts and evidence presented in this case, the grand jury unanimously returned an indictment against Mac Bailey Marquette, charging him with the crime of murder.
After months of investigations into the shooting death of Steve Perkins, a former Decatur police officer is now charged with murder. Morgan County District Attorney Scott Anderson announced Friday morning that Mac Marquette had been arrested for shooting and killing Steve Perkins in his front yard. Law enforcement agencies have denied repeated requests to see body camera video from the night Perkins was killed. Now his family will get to see it, but Anderson says he's keeping it from the public to avoid tainting the jury.
Oh, wow.
My job is to seek justice and do it the best.
So we're still not seeing the body cam.
The best way that I can seek justice is to make sure that everybody gets a fair trial, and that that can only happen if we've got the largest jury.
So what you were seeing here was like a neighbor's ring cam that barely caught what was happening, and we probably wouldn't have charges if it wasn't for the existence of this ring cam.
To avoid tainting the jury pool.
My job is to seek justice and do it the best that I can. And the best way that I can seek justice is to make sure that everybody gets a fair trial, and that that can only happen if we've got the largest jury pool in Morgan County that we can have.
He claims previously released videos created rumors and speculation. It's something he wishes to avoid, since the video will be used as evidence at trial.
As a result of posting the door cam footage, you had untruths, half-truths, speculations, innuendos, rumors, and it just goes on. And all those were shared. And so that evidence, while it is still good evidence, is tainted with opinions.
Like cops are pieces of shit that murdered that man? Komradsky, did I tell you? Good evening. Welcome in, my friend. No, it was a cop. He did look like a kid, didn't he? No, he was a cop. There was a repo agency, and they were coming to take that dude's truck, but he had made his payments. There was no reason for them to be taking his truck. It was some sort of mix-up, and they brought the cops with them at night. He did look like a child. Brought the cops with them at night, and he was the guy was legally armed. The Steve Perkins, legal gun owner, thought somebody was stealing his truck, came out armed, got shot by the cops. So complete bullshit. We go to Washington, where a Winchester officer is on leave following a video that's gone somewhat viral.
Video of an arrest that's raising questions in Winchester, Virginia. The video's making the rounds on social media now. It shows an officer punching and tasing a suspect on the ground.
That officer is now on administrative leave. Northern Virginia Bureau Chief Julie Carey spoke with the police chief. He told her he's reviewing the incident. She also pulled the court documents that give the officer's side of the story.
This bystander video posted to social media begins as a Winchester officer punches a man on the ground, shouting commands as the man asks for his glasses.
You're about to get tased. For what? I'm trying to get my glasses. Taser, taser, taser.
Okay. Fuck! He's not doing anything.
You're gonna get it again. Put your hands behind your back now. Put your hands out behind your back. Stop reaching.
Wow.
Hands behind your back.
Another officer arrives to help with the arrest. Winchester's police chief on
What was he even accused of?
month, putting the officer with the taser on administrative leave with pay, acknowledging the video will be part of their investigation. The chief says his department is starting an internal review while the Commonwealth attorney does a separate external examination of the use of force.
Anything that we determine as a use of force will trigger that review, and this definitely falls under that purview, definitely with a taser use. I definitely understand how it looked on video, but we still have to do that thorough investigation.
How it looked.
Arrest 47-year-old Robert Rampy faces 5 charges, including resisting arrest, drinking alcohol in public, and being a felon in possession of a weapon. This criminal complaint lays out the officer's version of.
Oh, bullshit. That's you wouldn't have known he was a felon if you didn't harass him. And drinking alcohol in public, that's what triggered it? Bullshit.
Events. He was at the Sheets when an employee complained about a man outside with an open container of alcohol. He writes that he told Robert Rampy that he couldn't drink alcohol here and asked for his ID. The officer reports Rampy kept drinking the beer, the officer telling him he was not free to leave. He writes Rampy resisted commands to put his hands behind his back, but that Rampy continued resisting, quote, reaching.
Well, it wasn't a bar, it was a
where
Sheets.
Weapons could be. The officer says
it's a gas
after he
station.
deployed his taser. Court documents report Rampy did have 2 knives. He was taken to Winchester Medical Center. Protocol for suspects struck by taser probes. On social
Sheets
media,
is the best gas station, by the way.
in on the use of force. One woman writing, regardless of how the incident started, the force used by the officer was excessive. Another person commenting, what I saw was an officer dealing with an individual who was actively resisting and refusing to comply with clear, lawful commands. The man who took the video writing, I took the video for both officer and suspect safety. The chief says several sources of video will now become part of the use of force review.
We definitely have our body-worn camera video, and I do believe that.
Stick with us, Battle Opossum. I have a story you need to hear.
There's no timetable yet for when the reviews will be
coming up. Couple more.
I'm Julie Carey, News 4.
News 4 contacted Robert Rampy's defense attorney for comment. We have not yet heard back. Rampy is still in jail tonight.
This is a wild one. Man apparently wrecked with his wife and kid in the car, doing over 100 miles per hour, and then he jetted on them.
Breaking from overnight right now, a 100-mile-per-hour crash sends a family to the hospital.
Well, that's everyone.
Fuck my wife and kids.
Houston police say took off after crashing into a ditch filled with water along Yale near Tidwell in North Houston. ABC 13's Courtney Carpenter is there live.
Happened at Tidwell.
Police are still trying to track down that father whose family is in the hospital.
Yeah, good morning to you, Samika and Rita. That's exactly right. HPD says that the expedition with the family inside was speeding down this road right here.
So he's drunk or had a warrant?
Over in that ditch over there. Now, the driver of the other truck that was involved in this crash says he's actually the one that helped them get out of the SUV. According to HPD, the man driving the expedition was heading south here on Yale, and that surveillance video shows he was speeding. Police say likely going around 100 miles an hour when a man in a Chevy Avalanche truck made a right turn from the inside lane to get to the gas station, kind of cutting him off. So they crashed, and the expedition with the family inside ended up in the ditch. From there, HPD says the driver of the expedition ran off, had another car actually pick him up, and left his wife and his 4 children behind. Now, the oldest child was ejected. HPD says it seems
wow,
they all will survive, but they're in serious and in critical condition at the hospital this morning. Police are still looking for the father, the driver of that expedition.
Holy shit.
What was going through his mind at the time. I don't know if there's some other reason that he felt he needed to flee, but
he's drunk or he had a warrant.
Are following down leads, and they're going to track that down to see if they can talk to him and get some answers, find out what's going on.
If this brother was intoxicated, that's almost negligent homicide. Like, no wonder he fled. It is totally like criminal negligence. Endangering the welfare of a minor, blah, blah, blah.
It seems like that man in the avalanche was making an illegal turn, but they also say with how fast that expedition was speeding down this road that any, slight correction or contact was going to end in catastrophe. Reporting live here in North Houston, Courtney Carpenter, ABC 13, Eyewitness News.
Amazing. Okay. So the next story involves a puppy, but good story involving a puppy. I hope everyone is safe. There's tornado warnings this evening in the Midwest. This is wild video where a family just barely saves their dog.
Wow, some heart-stopping moments in Gary, Indiana, where a family rushed to grab their dog. It was just seconds after a tornado ripped through their backyard.
Wow!
Family's Ring camera caught the intense moments. Anthony Stanley says that his son ran out and got the dog on time. That's because seconds later, the family shed and that dog kennel were gone.
Just in time.
Oh, boy.
Hello, I'm Mark Brown.
Hey, Mark Brown.
Wow, some heart-stopping moments in Gary, Indiana, where a family rushed to grab their dog. It was just seconds after a tornado ripped through their.
Good night, Lenny.
Happened last week. Family's Ring camera caught the.
You're gonna miss some really fucked up shit.
Stanley says that his son ran out and got the dog on time. That's because seconds later, the family shed and that dog kennel were gone.
Because the next story involves a puppy. And I have to hit the content warning for this one. Yeah, that shed just completely dissipated. Well, I don't think the puppy was harmed. You could say the puppy was definitely abused. A Florida woman arrested for sexual assault of a Chihuahua sold the video online. Florida woman allegedly sold a video of herself having sex with one of her dogs on social media for $500. Of course, she's from Florida. In a recent Facebook post, the Marion County Sheriff's Yokiro Taco Bell a Florida woman went to shocking lengths to make $500. In a recent Facebook post, the Marion County Sheriff's Office revealed that they had arrested a 27-year-old Logan Gaminsky for making and selling a video of herself engaging in a sex act with one of her dogs. I don't even know how it's possible. Officers received an anonymous tip claiming that Gaminsky posted the graphic video in January. Oh my God, Battle Apostle. This wasn't the story I wanted you to stick around for. According to an arrest report obtained by Ocala News, the tip included the 32-second video in question. The clip allegedly showed a brown and white Chihuahua licking the unclothed vagina of a white female. Utilized her hand to manually manipulate her vagina and coerced the dog to continue its act by petting it. Clinically says Ocala. Oh, she's fucked a horse before. Amid the investigation, detectives confirmed Gminski was the person in the video. They also located several photos and videos of her with the abused animal. It just licked her. I mean, I don't condone this behavior. A few months later, Gminski was questioned by detectives. During the interview, Gminski classified herself as a content creator who makes sexually explicit photos and videos to sell online. Per the post, Gminski admitted to sharing the video in question with another user. The user allegedly paid $500 for it. Additionally, Gminski allegedly said that she has been involved in sexual activity with another dog. She said videos of both incidents were stored on her cell phone. Gminski was placed under the was arrested for sexual activity involving an animal and filming sexual activity involving an animal. Released the following day on a $10,000 bond. I know I'm horrible. Cancel me. I mean, there was no penetration. I don't know. I shouldn't rationalize this. I mean, they make jokes about dogs and peanut butter. Flashlight, $500 and $500. Oh, do you think it's the age of the dog that's the problem, Battle Opossum? My God. If it was older... No! What is wrong with content creators? They're out here having sex with animals, groping wrestlers. What the fuck is going on? WWE fans demand OnlyFans model banned after leaving CM Punk and Cody Rhodes furious by breaking golden rule during a meet and greet. WWE, I thought it was when they were like exiting the ring. They were like taking selfies outside after the match, but this says meet and greet, but who knows if the Daily Mail got it right. WWE superstars CM Punk and Cody Rhodes were confronted by a fan in Glasgow. The woman was seen touching the wrestlers' necks after their show. It was later revealed that the woman in question is a current OnlyFans star. The wrestling duo competed in a dark match which takes place off-air in the Scottish city before taking pictures with fans from the crowd. However, one interaction clearly irked the superstars after a female fan was seen putting her hand around the neck of both Punk and Rhodes. Let's go to TikTok for that clip. Oh. That's not a link to the clip. Yeah, I thought it happened outside of the ring there. So this is Morgan Moore. This is the outfit that she was wearing. The Austin 316 shirt. You see her taking a picture, or Cody taking a picture with her. Oh, there she is. She's like grabbing Cody by the neck and bringing him into her tits. Whoa!
A titty slap!
Come on now.
Is this the TikTok? Did I finally find it? Oh, God damn it. I gotta go to my other browser where I'm logged in. Fucking TikTok. Probably gonna have me do captchas. Yep. Oh, you can see Punk get angry. Yeah, she's grabbing him. There's Cody. This OnlyFans model was trying to, like, I guess, get pictures with people to help her Twitter follow. See, she's like grabbing Cody around the neck and he pushes her off. She does it again there. Cody leaves. See, there she's doing it to Punk. And Punk. According to the comments here, Punk told her to stop, and then she slid her hand down his back, and he said, "I'm going to punch you in the face." Do we have the... Oh, here we go. He said, "I'm going to punch you in the face." Pretty sure that's what he mouthed. Don't be grabbing wrestlers. Okay, I'm going to take tomorrow night off. Friday night we'll have Total Request. Saturday night, Best of Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania edition. This is a honey badger. Monday night for Live Music Monday, we are doing Meatloaf and Blue Oyster Cult. Live Music Monday, Meatloaf and Blue Oyster Cult. Media Winch suggestions. If you are watching on Twitch, you are heading over to producer Dave. I assume IDT is on, right? There we go. There's producer Dave. Go ahead, light one up, tip one back. It's all right to have a little fun before we hit the sack. I'm JustinFREAKIN. I think we're raiding out. I don't know. Honey badger don't give no shit. So look at that. Would be fun to play with a honey badger. I do the tagline. I don't know. I may have fucked the raid up. Go wherever you want to go. Light one up, tip one back. It's all right to have a little fun before you hit the sack. I'm JustinFREAKIN. We'll see you tomorrow. No.